be trying to play my video. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me pause this shit. Okay, we back. People be tripping about sound. They hear sounds in your video, and they be tripping. I don't got nothing against nobody, but I don't want to hear all that shit. I hear enough confusion. It's enough. I gotta listen to this damn politics. I don't want to hear that shit either. But I listen to it so I know what's going on around the world and make the right decisions. Am I scared of anything? Heck, you know, I'm riding with the Most High. So whatever's going on in the world is supposed to happen. You better get connected with the plug, fam. That's what's happening. I wouldn't even worry about what they got going on, because whatever's meant to go on, whatever's going on is meant to happen. You think people gonna be judged, and their nation's gonna be destroyed. So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised now you hear the president talking about Iran's a very powerful country. How do you think you didn't know that? But that's game.
Thousands of missiles.
Fair use copyright.
Most are now destroyed. To do with this, they were going to take over the Middle East and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing.
Only reason they hit them other countries, your version of things, Mr. President, misconstrued. Y'all would take a story and spin the narrative. Now, if it's you, I don't know, but I know that presidents are given speech. But I don't know, because you kind of cocky with it, and it seems to me if you come off like the type that'll come up the rip with it. You know? Then you so confident in yourself. He's so confident in himself, I could see him truly doing something like that. But the only reason Iran did that to the other nations was to bring you to heel. All that bombing them and not going to sit down, I would have went and sat down. That's how the world moves in this day and age. All that flexing on other nations because you got weapons or you think you're more dominant. Man, look, they done showed you otherwise. So that ought to let the world know. But will that stop them? I don't think so. People gonna try it again. But they gonna know. They gonna learn. Now let's see what Mr. Trump is talking about. Fair use copyright. Hopefully he learned.
So much for the so-called bravery of this coward.
This channel
so please
is,
state.
Who is this? Jantaka Reporter. Jantaka Reporter. Came out of
Donald Trump has just told CBS News that he may end the war against Iran soon.
We hope we don't have any of that. And again, if they do that, if they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before. So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over them. Most are now destroyed, but they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this.
Destroyed all their weapons. Why do they keep telling them that? You should research the information you getting, bro. Real talk.
Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy.
It sounds delusional because once I leave this channel, I'm going over to see what's going on in Iran. Then I'm going to see what's going on in Israel. Then I'm going over to Africa. Then I'm going over to Russia, China, and hopefully catch some Saudi Arabia, because I want to hear the news coming straight from them. And their news don't be aligning with our news. We need to stop trying to save face and be honest and truthful. That's how you win the war against the enemy, no matter who it is.
Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon.
That's crazy.
And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Mr. President, you said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be
Well, I
prepared
think
for
you
this
could
war
say
to last?
both. It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar, they have no telecommunications, and they have no leadership. It's all gone. So, you could look at that statement. We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further.
Why is this important? It's important because this came just after the IRGC announced a major shift in its missile strategy vis-a-vis American military targets, that from now on, Iran will only launch missiles with warheads exceeding 1 ton. And the frequency, scale, and scope of these missiles will also increase significantly.
Iran has not stopped bombing. Iran are on their business. Our political arm of America, the people that represent are kind of delusional. I don't know why they choose to operate in this grandiose way. When people do their research, everybody don't just rely on American news. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? There's a greater at work. You know why you're paying attention to it. And like I said, I'm not surprised. These nations gonna be judged. They cousins too. They cousins gonna get it too. But you know what? Iran know. And ain't nobody paying attention to the truth of it. The earth is going back. Right? Was once in certain places, like people in power, in lands that produce all this mineral wealth, things are going back. Because what these Gentiles are doing, family, they're gonna destroy one another. This ain't the last time. Yeah, I hear them talking about we might call it an end. I don't know, fam. I don't know. Israel, like they bloodthirsty. Like they don't understand. Like they don't have no understanding of how human nature works. Like they are stuck in time warp. They just want to destroy everything. Like bloodthirsty. Where do y'all get this shit from? crazy. I'm glad black folk waking up though. I was listening to a brother playing a video from Omar Thibodeau. He one of the preachers that have awakened to the fact that we are God's chosen people. And what happened was you had the Council of Islam, the rulers over there, sent him a letter letting them know them people in the land don't got nothing to do with the original black and brown original Judeans. Them people in there, and we saying we already know, we told y'all. Nobody won't listen. They think it's something that has to do with race relations, like black people just trying to take people's culture, and the culture is kingdom. Think about it. We all God's children. But the Most High does have particular people that He chose to do a particular job, right? He has a particular people, and you could tell them people over there are not. They don't seek the Most High. They not repenting. They throwing bombs everywhere. Stop playing, and they have to be held accountable for it. Yeah, they have the world pretty much as with this going on. They didn't pull the mask off the face of the beast in their system. Iran, if you pay attention, they did a number on the Western nation system. Trump spiraling as UAE and allies. Yeah, all the nations that, like he was saying, Iran bombed nations that didn't have anything to do with it. That's bullshit. Because these the nations America who are in the Western nations are in business with, and America protects. America arms them and protects them. And the reason Iran blew at them is because they allowed America to kickstart this aggression we just witnessed and still witnessing against their nation on their soil, right around the corner from them. The reason, and as far as them not having nothing to do with it, that's bull crap. What is new breed? Global True Fair Use Copyright. Fair Use Copyright. I'm gonna check that out. Put it on. Talk my talk. But yeah, they know they was dead wrong. And think about it. If I'm at war with my enemies, that's like my own brothers helping these suckers to keep a tab on me, where I'm at, when I'm there, where I'm at, how I'm moving. You know, like, talk about betrayal. That's why Iran did what they did to them. And you stay right around the corner from me, and you think you're going to get away with that? And that's why they did what they did. Make it make sense, man. All this debauchery when you trying to communicate with people to have people confused, I think people have awakened to that. People know better. I don't think people falling for that no more. I will pray and hope that they not. This is the time of enlightenment. You talking about enlightenment, the awakening. That means something, family. That comes with equity. And it shows in your knowledge and how you move. Are you moving according to the Most High, or are you still stuck in the world? A lot of people still stuck on Democrats and Republicans. They vote now. I walk through the community. I'm looking out there. I'm walking through 63rd, right there in the Woodlawn area. 63rd and College, South Side Chicago. And they at the library voting. I'm looking like, y'all still. Now, all these damn files that came out, they done made this the top news. All of a sudden, ain't no more, don't nobody remember all this wicked ass information came out about these people in these files. And you talking about going to vote somebody else in office? Are you serious? Family, we need a wake-up call. I don't think enough of us, why would I keep voting somebody in office to rule over me? Especially if I know, I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, we the chosen, I'm chosen. That's a biblical concept. And if you are, then that means you either a natural born descendant of the house of Shem, you're Shemitic, which makes you a Hebrew by bloodline, which your people being the chosen, he remembered that covenant he had with your ancestors. He called out Abraham, he called out Isaac, and he called out Jacob. And he remembered that covenant family. And those people are an Eastern people. As even with a lot of the going back and forth with those who saying, well, I'm not from Africa. I'm from Africa. I'm not from Africa. I'll tell you something. Man, Oprah look funny as hell. She done lost a lot of weight again, y'all. She looks so damn funny. She looks sick. I guess she don't look sick, but she look funny as hell. If you're 80, you grew up in the 80s, you remember her and Luther Vandross constantly losing weight. Fair use copyright. That's Oprah new look. She's slim as hell, y'all. That's crazy. What these people got going on out here, y'all? What they doing? They shape shifting. They playing with all kinds of Donald Trump back in the 80s. Because remember, there was a hostage negotiation. There was a hostage thing between Iran and Israel. I believe that was during Jimmy Carter's time, if I'm not mistaken. That's why they didn't like Jimmy Carter. They said Jimmy Carter was soft because they felt Jimmy should have stormtrooped that boy, sent the killers in and killed all of them. He get the people back. Like, it's not playing. Jimmy knew what he was doing. And I believe he used diplomacy. And they did not like that, family. They wanted him to blow something. Throw some rockets at him. Send the hitters in. Go kill them all. Like with this situation. All this preemptive thinking. You're not thinking things through. The Bible tells you to count the cost. When you make the decision to do whatever you're doing, you make sure you count the cost. I don't care what it is. Count the cost, family, because it can cost you. Look at Iran. All them people and they talking about they done shut them down. The people need to take their city back, country back. Them people standing 10 toes down with their government. There's so many. I've been watching this for the last 3 days. Well, since it started. And I've been watching alternative news channels. Check out WeOn. That's the India news channel. They pretty good. Who else I haven't checked out a couple of, but I'll check out Africa too. Africa 360, mandatory Africa. And who else I be checking out? I'm too tough. Europe too, but I've been mainly checking out the Indian channel because their news have been it's been pretty much balanced. You get that balance. They not holding back what's going on like America gonna hold some things back. They not gonna tell the people. Of course, they say for political purposes, they don't want to arouse the people. People want to know what the hell going on. Stop playing so they can make the right moves, make the right decisions to secure their families. It's too much uncertainty going on out here. Then I look at it like you need to cut their ass off anyway. Why are we listening to them? You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest. Why the hell are we listening to some people that we don't want to follow because of their wickedness? A lot of people, they quick to tell you some shit about, well, we have to vote for the lesser. No, you don't. The Most High, especially if you chosen, you awaken to the fact of who you are. He told you in his word, don't vote no person. You don't vote for you don't vote to put no person to rule over you unless he come from your kinsman. That don't mean go. Most High don't deal with politics. All that stuff. This stuff don't mean nothing to him. He sent you here to establish his kingdom. He wanted earth to be a colony of heaven, and he still do. That's us that keep looking to them. No, I'm stuck on the promises of Yahuwah because this is how we empower ourselves. If you just cut their ass off, get on and align yourself the right way and keep the Most High commandments and really walk in His word on a daily. Don't be scared to spread the gospel of the kingdom. We teach you kingdom so people can come out of the world and operate in a kingdom mindset with a kingdom heart, with love towards one another. That's guided by love. That's not guided by democracy or credit or man's things that can fail you. Yeah, you're gonna be tried as a son of the Most High, but family, think about it. Absence in the body is presence in means that you in His presence, even if you're in that holding area until the time to come forth. As we know, all beings gonna be judged, gonna come before Him and be judged. Either if it's instant or if there's a waiting period into a time when we're all you're gonna go before Him. So you better remember that part. If you don't remember nothing, remember that part and hold fast to it. Hold fast to what's good in that perfect will of the Most High above whatever's going on in the world. I assure you, you're gonna overcome. It may look like things are going bad, but I don't feel that way. Not even in life and the things that I do. And I've never really had the system. Now I'm sitting here talking about, well, maybe I probably should use the system to use the credit because our people don't truly support our businesses like I think we should. The way we use their systems and corporations and businesses on a daily, we should have our own system. I don't know what we waiting on us in Africa while we beefing with one another. Africa got the goods, and we can build the infrastructure around it, so we can come together, collab, and get money. What are we waiting on? Like I never had that anchor in the world. They didn't want you there. Black men, you know this. Even to this day, you got the women flexing on you, like they constantly getting credit. They buying 3 and 4 cars a year. They got credit to do this. They making move, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, think about if you didn't utilize what the government is giving, and we came together and put that work in and established these things ourselves. Wouldn't be no time to come on here whining about what the damn politicians doing. Who cares? Because we will have things in order. We don't have that. Yeah, we got people that spread out that got things that's ruling and trying to control things just as it is written. Genesis 1. The Father told you to rule and have dominion over whatever you create with your hands. You got some of us that hold good to that. I'm one of them. Like I said, I never had them. And I'm here to tell you, it's like I was listening to the tax man explain, like you use a bank and loans in business. Don't be like the middle class. They think they can make enough money to buy whatever they want, then use the credit to pay the bill off. Like, no. Use the credit to purchase assets. Build that asset, and that asset will create what? Non-taxable revenue for you, passive revenue. I think some of that is non-taxable. But make sure you know how to establish the business. It has to be a business. It's not gonna be, yeah, you'll have some non-taxable income if you doing business. They're gonna give you all the incentive they want to. You need. The more you become successful, and that don't mean it's just gonna go that way. I got a problem with this system because the SB, what's that? Small Business Administration they don't do business with us. Hell no, they do business with selective black people because they get along with them. But me that speak contrary to how they think and the God they follow and how they think and how things ordered, how they follow what's going on with the nation and invested in all that, they'll look at me like, no, I don't got to get invested in that. As long as I'm invested in the banking system and I'm paying my taxes and putting that money towards where it need to go. It's for them to put it where where it's going to empower America. Don't be looking at me Don't be looking at me playing asking stupid ass questions talking about, oh, well, why should we give you a loan? Because I'm an 1853 emancipated citizen of the United States. That's why I'm a citizen here. And I chose to start a business, which that's enough incentive. You getting enough money off us already. Like, what the fuck? They use us as collateral to get loans from country. What else do they have to give them people? They done gave up industries. What else they got to give? But you, they gave up the dollar stand. They gave up the gold. They gave up the, what else? They gave up the gold and they took on the dollar with the debt. The dollar don't have no intricate value. So they have to give something up to get them loans. We don't create the dollar. That's a private entity. That's a system within itself. Just because it's the Federal Reserve, that don't mean it has anything to do with the federal government of the United States, other than being a lender. That is a banking business. They are independent and they operate around the world. Bible. Sweetest one. You know he's the sweetest one. That's the one you watch. One time about he the sweetest one. Watch his ass. That's the sweet. Them the ones that get away with doing shit. You ain't watching. Life is lessons. And one thing about it, life is life is all about, hold on. Hold up. I say hell no to them punks. I refuse to go. But hell no, you punks. I refuse to go. And we build our own house. Like we been doing. It works, fam. Fam. Believe me, it works. Only thing now is bringing our people together. That's the work, fam. Which we have to do. We're gonna have to bring the people together. That's the only way we're gonna protect ourselves. All that arguing, fussing with one another about things. Not any of those divider, any of these people trying to divide the families. You just got to kick their ass to the side and keep it moving. It ain't nothing personal. Everybody ain't gonna be able to go along with you on that trip, no way. A lot of them hating anyway. Hating for no reason. Damn haters. We don't need all that. What the hell? This phone does. Hello, how you doing? Hello, hello. I apologize. Hello, peace and blessings. I've been sitting here running off at the mouth. I hear you. Say it, hello. Right, G. Okay, G. I have to give him a sword. Talking about the Bible, you got to have your Bible in your hand. It's the most promising time. Because I know my word won't come back void. And he doesn't lie like man. Men lie, women lie, but the word don't. And we could trust it because it's been enforced for like centuries before we got here. That's why I trust it. I have to try it myself, though. I tried them and it showed. Been showing out since I was a shorty. So I trust it. I trust it with my whole heart. Don't cap. Man, we as people, we different. This is what he expects from us. I wouldn't bring nothing less. I wish my people hurry up and get on board. A lot of them will awaken. I know they will. He's the author of our faith. I don't have no doubt about it. I'm just ready for us to come together, especially with our brothers and sisters in Africa. I'm not one of them that bash brothers and sisters in Africa, because a lot of us don't know. But that's where your DNA comes from. You can listen to who you want to listen to. I ain't trying to gain no followers. I just tell it how it is. I'm a truth speaker. If you don't speak the truth, you have to speak the truth. One thing my dad don't like, no freaking lying. Get the skin beat off you lying with him. Dad whoop the skin off your back. You thought you was a slave. Don't try to make fun of our ancestors. I'm like, hold up, Dad, you kind of strong with it, ain't you? No, Dad about his business. You got to move on code. Our people don't be moving on code. Who's code? I hope and pray we all on the same accord on God's code. God got the law. You got to hold fast to the law. And you can't be afraid. Can't be intimidated. Most High ain't building no cowards. So. He's calling his sons. He's calling his sons to order. It's your job to go out here and establish territory for the kingdom. And the people that you building up is happy. I pray is based on the word when we move. Not to be trying to get the people to follow us, but to follow the word of the Most High. That's where I'm at with it. How long I've been on here? Every day I make my videos, 30 minutes. Tomorrow's supposed to storm really bad. Wednesday. Okay. I didn't even see that. I need to pay attention. It's gonna storm real bad, sis. I didn't know that. Get out there early then. Early bird, get the worm. Get out there early. I'm from Chicago. I gotta check the news out. Early bird, get the worm, you dig? Spring is springing right on forth. It's gonna rain. Well, the other day I was making a video 2 days ago and I see it. Soon, the new year setting in. Not according to the Gregorian calendar, the Hebrew calendar. But it sets in March, late March, early April. Christ talks about it. The month of Abib. It's when the new year, what we call spring, the Father is established as the new year. But that we follow the world, we can kind of off, you know. Iran sends a strong message to Black Americans. React. What they say? What they, everybody going crazy talking about Iran speaking of fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. I want to hear that. What they say, black folks. Like I said, I already brought out the information they shared with Brother Omar Tabo. Let them know we are the ancient Hebrew Israelites and have more right to the land than people over there. Oh, yeah, silly.
But y'all got these using game. But we do not want that smoke with y'all. Oh, God, we do not want that smoke with y'all. Hey, whatever he said, we don't got no question.
Don't be saying too much about Iran. They said that we're cool. They said that we are cool. They said African Americans have been through a lot. So don't say too much. Don't go over there and don't be doing too much. And you know, if you look like us and you wearing that camo, you better not be doing too much. Because they said that we cool. They said that we cool. So I just want to let y'all remember that. Like, they said that we cool. They know that we kid. They know that we're hot. We have no nationalism and we ain't got no say. We ain't got no motherfucking, I ain't got no say. I ain't got no say. You see, we try to give him a black woman president, an actual, like, and she's still not even African American. She's everything but we got the latest one. They didn't even want her. Obama doesn't count.
Okay, this is for the black people who be saying like, oh, we shouldn't get involved. Oh, these people don't like us. Oh, what's this? They celebrate a day for abolition of slavery, but such crimes occur committed against the blacks. Hashtag Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Black Lives Matter. That's from Khamenei, the Ayatollah of Iran. Wait. What about this other Ayatollah from Iran? 1979. Question, Your Holiness, what do you expect the American government to do in exchange for the release?
Now I understand why black people revisiting that, because black people have been held back so long by this nation and other Western nations in their through their institutions and teaching. So when you hear me speaking strictly Bible, I know who we are. I'm not connecting me and our history to no liars and thieves. Hell no. We know who we are, and we ain't asking you to. We're not asking for no approval to say it. That's what they ain't understanding. that's what the Christians don't get. They think everything is based off whatever Christianity said, and we know that's the paradigm of the Romans. We don't follow that. Mm-mm. We seek ye out of the book for ourselves to learn and to bring ourselves to obedience to the Most High through His word. His law still stands. Every word that He spoke is a law. It establishes the culture of a kingdom citizen, not no governments and all that. Get that out of here. It's what's coming out your heart, and I hope and prayerfully you studying His word so you can have Him know His mind and His ways for yourself.
Of female and black hostages that you have ordered. We released the women and the blacks because.
And I pray they show the letter came from the Muslims, whoever controlled the Council of Islam over there. They sent Omar Thibodeau, one of our pastors, that's a Hebrew Israelite, the priest. That's awakened. They church have awakened, and they know who they are, and they teaching the truth of God's word, changing lives and hearts and minds around the world. That don't just affect us here, around the world. This is the hottest conversation being talked about. That's why things are, it looks like things are falling out of order. People making decisions to cause more chaos. No, in order for Israel and Judah to rise, all these nations you see in power must fall. It is written and shall come to pass. The people can repent and come out from among these nations who they so with this nationalist attitude about, because their governments ain't right. Their governments do not represent the kingdom, the king's dominion, God's dominion, nor do they follow His righteousness, which is His right rulership, His instructions. No, they do not. And we know better. And they recognize, they know who we are. Yeah, we get a lot of flack and go through a lot of flim-flam through these people. But to do things the right way, I wouldn't trade it for the world. They cheat and do all kind of stuff to get up, to bury stuff, hide it, and all that. And think about it. We'll be stuck. I was listening to that Dr. O over there on TikTok. She ain't even telling nothing but the truth. We'll be stuck in debt for 20 years. I'm one who did it. Never used credits. It was a student loan. It's over with now, and I never had credit though. But was stuck in it because I'm like, okay, I was on some black power tip. Forget the system. I never used their banks. Forget their banks. But I've always went out that I have a trade skill. Went to school, got the knowledge. I know how to use it. I've never been one to sit back and wait to ask nobody for nothing. I got this knowledge, and if I can go and get a job from them and make money from them, I knew I could do it for myself. And that's the message that's coming from over here.
America. We do not consider them totally culpable, for perhaps they were pressured into coming here. We did this out of obedience to the command of Islam and God. We don't expect anything from Mr. Carter, and we do not want a reward for what we have done. The issue here is that Mr. Carter must hand this criminal, the Shah, back to us. A criminal who has committed crimes against the people in a country must, according to all international laws, be returned to that country. Yet he, Carter, goes against all the rules of reason. So I don't know, man. How you guys feeling about Iran? Maybe some of the countries in the Middle East or other people around.
It's been about 5 minutes. I just talked about Iran in that situation with Carter. Carter did not blow them people. And then they were mad about, I believe, more so the Jewish people that was on there. But as you can see, brother bringing the story out, they let the blacks go. They let our people go. Not the Africans, us. And there was some Africans on there. But they let our people go because they like, here's the story. Check it out.
In the world, maybe they have shown some solidarity with black.
Yeah, they did. They hated Jimmy Carter. America hated Jimmy Carter for that shit. They can't say they didn't. They looked at him as weak. But Jimmy was moving in another spirit, family. He might not have been perfect, but to make that move in diplomacy the way he did, without causing no fucking war like these maniac warmongers do, and ain't sending none of their people to go fight nothing. No, he didn't.
People, I don't know. I'm just pointing things out. I'm just showing y'all the facts.
I just hope that this generation of Iranians remembers this fact right here, y'all, because ain't nothing changed. I want y'all to understand today the same way your people understood then. We ain't got nothing to do with this. Y'all knew back then that we were an oppressed, minoritized, and marginalized group that were likely to have nothing to do with spying. Yeah, you understood that then? It's the same thing now. We still over here fighting, y'all. We still fighting for some of the same things that our people were fighting for back then when you released us. You feel me, right? So for real, just like, keep that in mind moving forward. Consider all of that and don't forget what you did then, because it's still very relevant to this moment.
Iran supports black people. Iran supports black people. Iran supported Malcolm X. They supported Malcolm X. Iran supported solidarity for black Americans. But they want us, black Americans, to go fight for the United States. They want us to go fight Iran, all for America. Iran supports black Americans. The United States don't support black Americans. The Jewish people don't support black Americans. But you want us to defend y'all. Hell no. We not stupid.
Iran had a Malcolm X stamp back in 1984. Iran has a Patrice Lumumba Street in Tehran. Iran had a conference against police brutality for black Americans back in 2015. President Hassan Rouhani and Ayatollah Khomeini spoke out after the death of George Floyd when many conservatives were mocking him and saying that he died of a drug overdose. During the Iran hostage crisis, people, to put it in context, that's more than a year before the end of the Iran hostage crisis, which ended in 1981. Iran's defense, helping them build up their drone industry. Iran's been one of the few instances of resistance against Israel's expansionism and supporting the resistance in Palestine and the Middle East. But the Islamic Republic is an oppressive regime, ironic, coming from the people who support the Shah and his son. The Shah of Iran that ruled brutally for 26 years, the one that had a secret police called the Sabak that was backed by the CIA and Mossad, the same one that was massing protests, torturing people, and extrajudicial things. And speaking of which, how did the Shah of Iran even get into power? He came in 1953. Oh. So you mean to tell me that the Shah of Iran got into power because he overthrew the democratically elected leader of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, who wanted to nationalize the oil in opposition to America and the UK? But you say you support democracy and the protesters, the same protesters that Is Not Real has said they have been arming, that Mossad has been saying that they have been infiltrating. The Islamic Revolution of 1979 was led by the people. The people of Iran chose Mohammad Mossadegh back in 1953. America and the UK said no. They installed their puppet who brutalized the population, brutalized Muslims, and Iran had enough, so they had a revolution back in 1979. So no, I'm not going to back the Islamic Republic's downfall and toppling. No, I'm not going to do that.
Black people and Iranians know your history together. Black people who descend from the slave trade and Iranians should be like this, because Iranians are the ones who freed your people the first time. Let me explain. When you read the Bible, you see a people called the Medes and the Persians. Who are the Medes and the Persians today? Those are the Iranians. And the Iranians had a king. His name was Cyrus. And Cyrus wrote a decree to free the tribe of Judah from Babylon and send them back to Jerusalem, the land they were exiled from, for their disobedience to God.
God. So when you read about Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, that was under King Cyrus, who was the Persian king, who is an Iranian. So today, August 2nd, thousands of black people in America are keeping the fast of the 5th month, prophesied by Zechariah to only be kept by the tribe of Judah in gladness and cheerful feast. Now, what are we doing over the next 24 hours? Going out, feeding the poor, clothing the naked, and uplifting the oppressed.
You got to be careful with that too. Yeah, the Medes and Persians took over the Iraq area because that is Babylon. That's Babylon. But those are Turkic people over there in Iran today, family. Those are the Turkic people.
There are those who say they're Jews keeping.
They are related to Japhet. They are Gentiles, but they are Turkic.
This fast, but they're keeping it in mourning because this is the day that Herod's and Solomon's temples were both destroyed. But Zechariah said that only the true tribe of Judah would keep the fast in the way that we're about to keep it. So no person who calls themselves a Jew would ever attack the only people whose king declared liberty. Every time you see an Iranian, salute to King Cyrus.
Now, here's something that has been quietly circulating in conversations online, especially among Black Americans reacting to everything happening between the United States and Iran right now. Surprisingly, a lot of people are saying some of you may already know this, but for many others, this part of history has almost completely disappeared from the mainstream conversations. So back in 1979, during the Iran hostage crisis, revolutionaries stormed the embassy of the United States, Tehran, and the moment global leaders were bracing for what looked like it could turn into a very long and dangerous international crisis, the United States government was scrambling for solutions. The media was covering it nonstop, and tensions between the two nations were at all-time high. But then something happened that shocked not only the United States, but the entire world. So within just 2 days, some of the first Americans who were released from captivity were not random people. They were Black Americans. And this is where the story gets so real, okay? At the time, Iran's leader, Ruhollah Khomeini, I can't pronounce that correctly, please pardon me, publicly announced that Black Americans and other minority hostages should be released early. His reasoning stunned observers across the globe. So according to statements made during that time, he urged that Black Americans were already oppressed within American society and therefore should not be treated the same as representatives of the United States government for the American system. Just imagine that for a moment. Think about how unusual that situation was. Here you had a foreign government, one that was considered an enemy by the United States, looking directly at America's internal racial struggles and saying essentially that Black Americans, Black citizens had already suffered enough. Meanwhile, the remaining American hostages stayed inside the embassy compound for 4 days, 4 days, okay, turning the situation into one of the longest and most dramatic diplomatic crisis of the 20th century. Yet today, almost nobody talks about that moment until recently. So very few people remember that there was a point in time when a foreign government openly used America's racial.
I was just speaking on that, and that came right up. That spirit bears witness to the truth. Always, family. I don't care what people say. Speak the truth. The heavens will prove you. The heavens will. You don't need a man. All you need is being in right standing with the Most High. That's it. I'm telling you. He proved it every time. I say something and bam. Okay? That's why I wouldn't care if don't nobody never came on here and listen. I'm gonna continue to make the videos. Eventually they'll catch on. Our brother been putting that word out there. Brother been saying we need to gather together. They'll know who real and who are Johnny come lately. That's really trying to take your liberty, bring you under subjection to something. I don't know how people be following some of everything. Say we believe in God, but then we go to the world to use whatever means they have and say that we are fulfilling our purpose. Like, no, that ain't how it goes. You're gonna have to walk them dogs on your own. You know You gonna have to, and your people have to help you. If they say they God fearing, they love, they of the Most High, they woke, they know what time it is. That's who, that go our support. So I ain't worried about the world, they banks and all that. I'm gonna walk upright like a son, and I know the people gonna support what I do. As long as you bring value, they gonna support you. Put that up, let me get frozen. Drink your juice. I should, yeah. No, yeah. Let me get over. Make these waffles. Make the waffles. Make the waffles too. Egg sausage. Start to make some cheese egg sausage. Start to make some rice food. Might as well kill them. Smack some peanut butter on them. Bam! Cheese, egg, sausage. With my bam, bam. It's called brunch. Eat breakfast for dinner. I'm having brunch, y'all. On that note, go check these. I'm going to check the sound stand. I want to see what China's talking about. China making big moves. Africa too. Can't sleep on Africa. It's Africa time. A lot of people sleep on Africa. Africa make the world go round. Believe that. Because without it, you forget about it.
Does not allow this. Carter should put aside his so-called humanism and return the criminal Shah so that we can conclude.
So how relevant is November 1979 to today? You just heard that the Ayatollah said, no, we're going to release the Black Americans.
Oh, that was Black Americans. It's still relevant because they are Islam Sunni. The Islamic Council sent us, one of our preachers, a letter who have awakened to the fact that we are the people of the book, the Hebrew Israelite, the whole entire Islamic Council. The video is back in the public now, running like crazy. I don't know why people feel they need to talk to Iran, but that's cool. Hey, we the United Nations, you know? Ain't no wrong with doing business. I've always felt that way, even with like during the times of Idi Amin. I used to read about the history of African rulers. I'm like, they only saying they went rogue because they came off the plantation. They ain't doing what they want them to do no more. Now they a problem. people awakening, choosing to follow their own minds and hearts, set the standard on a higher basis, set the foundation on a higher standard. And we all believe in the Most High God. I know they believe in a different one, but that they believe in God and try to hold fast to the ways of their God, I can respect that. Being honest, man.
Basically don't have shit to do with this. And he was identifying with the Black Americans being oppressed in America as the same as they're being oppressed by the American government at that time.
For sure.
Now, the other people, they had to stay until 1981, right? So they had more or less 2 years of being a hostage in Iran. When I listened to that and then I move forward to today, I start to ask myself, who is the real enemy, right? Who is in charge of saying they're the enemy, they're not? Especially fighting another. What do y'all think? Like, which side of the fence are you on?
I think the awakening.
Y'all keep saying this, so like,
I keep saying the truth must go forth. The people must be awake. Because now we're connected and coming closer.
racist and like they just be like, oh no, that's a color, leave them alone. Or like, am I missing something? Because when them bombs get to dropping on me, I just want to know. And I'm not trying to fearmonger nobody or nothing like that, but I just want to know, are we like, am I missing something?
Okay, so when you really sit down and think about this story, it says a lot more than most people realize. This wasn't just a random decision that happened in the middle of a political crisis. This was a moment that
everybody loves Black people. They know we don't fuck with nobody. We're trying to heal the world. They know who's doing all the fucking up, cutting up.
Because I remember during
they know that. They know if we can get away from their ass, we would.
Between the US
that's
and
why I be like,
Iran,
Africa, y'all need to do business with y'all
at some point.
motherfucking brothers and sisters. Cut out the middleman, that's the goddamn problem. We all got the same problem, same ones. We all do. Imagine we cut their ass off and did business together. And look the real world.
Situation at the entire world watching as American diplomats and citizens were being held inside the embassy of the United States, Tehran. But out of crisis came a moment